Um,
Hey, Trey, did you have a good day? You have anything to say?
it was a little chilly today, man. We got a big, huge division game tomorrow at Neshoba
Uh-oh.
Central.
Uh-oh.
Girls and boys. We've got a few key starters out due to COVID quarantine. Um,
Ooh.
my
Man.
starting center back for girls, my starting forward for boys just got quarantined today. Um, Neither one of them, and their brother and sister. So
Ooh. So you got
yeah.
you got a quarantine on the boys team and the girls team.
Yeah, but what's funny? Neither one of them have symptoms. The brother tested positive. The girl tested negative, and they live in the same house. It's weird.
Yeah, I had that happen on one of my players too. When we all got out, like oh no, this was in the summer actually. His sister tested positive, but he didn't. But he
hmm
still had to be quarantined, and then he tested positive during the season when everybody else did too.
We're actually, our school has been the only area school like in our district that's made it through all the way through December. Um, we have um, tomorrow's our last day, and then we get out for 2 weeks. So it means a lot to the people at our school. Even myself being a parent who has kids to go to the school in the district, that we've made it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That our kids are doing the right thing outside the school. The parents and as well as the teachers and staff and everything have been working really hard to make sure that we make it through, because ultimately we're doing it for the kids. We're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it so
No
the
doubt.
kids can go to school and the kids can play basketball and play soccer and interact with their friends. And every kid I've talked to that's been quarantined has just told me how miserable it was, for
Yep.
14 days, that doing what they do, and as hard as the teachers work, um, including myself, virtual learning is not the way. It's just not the way. So
I
I
mean,
hope.
it's not going to maximize. I'm sorry to cut you off, but virtual learning is just not as good as in-person learning. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, I really hope that school districts will continue to take these safety measures. It looks like we're going to continue throughout the rest of the school year. I would imagine, at least in Mississippi, we're going to continue with the mask. Even though vaccines are starting to be released, we'll continue with the mask, social distancing, all those things to help prevent the spread of it. Um, and I'm hoping
Right.
that by the start of next school year, that we'll be back to normalcy of school and life itself. But like I said, it's in a perfect world, we've got 2 weeks of you know of holidays. So that's 14
Mhm.
days. So it's hard to say everybody can self quarantine for 14 days and make the virus disappear, because
Right.
we know that's not going to happen. I mean, it would literally have to be a federal order to, hey, everything's shutting down for 2 weeks. Nobody's leaving. Nobody. Everything's closed. The only thing that you just can't do. I mean, I guess you could do that, but there's just no reality really behind that. So we just got to continue taking the same safety measures that we have in front of us. And um, in terms of the vaccine, like I've only taken a flu shot vaccine one time in my adult life, and that was the only year that I got the flu. Um, so, our family hasn't been really prone to get the flu a lot. I think my son's had it maybe one time, my wife, but I could count how many times on my hand that people in my household have gotten the flu since we've been a family of four.
Right.
But in terms of the COVID vaccine, I don't see myself taking it. I know I'm not going to take it, and or my family either. But interesting story, man. I talked to some lady friend of mine whose child plays soccer for me. She works in a hospital, and she's talking about how they have COVID babies now, and how babies are born with COVID. That's
What?
transmitted through their mothers, and babies are born with COVID, and yet. no babies that she's had interactions with have had any issues. They've only had one mother. They've had one mother who passed. She was 29 years old. She had COVID, passed it on to her baby who was premature. But her death was more caused to the premature labor. I think the baby was, very premature, and the mother had had some pre-existing health conditions, but she was 29 and passed, but she did have COVID. I'm sure that was probably attributed to her passing, but it wasn't the reason for her passing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, usually it's not. It's usually like the underlying issues or whatever, or, pre-existing conditions that other people that people have and that COVID makes them susceptible to. Like my mom, for example, is not in the utmost of health that she usually is, but she all right. But I'm very, very hesitant to spend a lot of time around her right now. And I know, I wear my mask in her house and stuff like that because I'm always around people, even though I keep my distance and I wear my mask too. But, like I'd be worried. It'll be hard for me to accept and live, carry on in my life. It was like I got COVID and gave my mama COVID and she passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't accept that. So I ain't trying to risk that, and that's basically it. And a lot of people like don't take it serious, and that's just crazy to me because the death toll is like 300,000, whether they come from pre-existing conditions or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's I don't know if that's the most accurate number. I think that there is some kind of, there is a push, and some people do overreact. I don't think it's, that bad. But if it's life and death, I don't know if there is such thing as a overreaction. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's hard to even say that you would have been the one to give it to her or whoever, because there's still nothing out there that says this person gets it from this person. There's no way to trace that. You know what I mean? It's like I just mentioned with the brother and sister.
Yeah.
Both taking tests, and
in the same household.
Only one of them having it. So
right. I think you could trace contact, but you can't trace like actual who gave it to who, unless it's directly like I wasn't around nobody, but if let's say if Carissa got it, you know what I'm saying, she would probably get it from me more so than anybody else. You know what I'm saying, and vice versa. Oh my God, what they yelling about? But anyway.
And
school. We finished our semester we got one more. We got to go back to work tomorrow, but we have actually survived the first semester of full,
that's congrats, on campus
man. COVID learning.
Congrats.
Hybrid, all of that with sports and everything. Like we survived, and I'm very thankful for that.
Lon, what's up, Lon? He's watching. Lon had mentioned that other countries have done it. They've done, the quarantines, but America is unique in the fact that we preach freedom. We preach freedoms and rights more than probably any other country in the world. And there's a lot of prideful people, and there's so many different views, and especially with social media being what it is, man, it's just, it's hard, man. I mean, I would love to sit down and talk to someone who has some ideas about that. But you would think in the White House right now, there's people on a round table figuring out, okay, what can we do to preserve our freedoms as Americans and our rights as Americans, but still, maybe make everyone feel more safe. And I think that's why the vaccine is getting such a push right now, right. Because American people are very impatient. You know what I mean?
Impatient, stubborn, hard-headed.
So people, what I'm
saying?
And look, I've seen
all three of them.
I've seen people talk about, well, the vaccine's out now, we can get back going to normal. But until we start seeing, short-term effects that things are going well, there won't be that sense of relief. And even still, certain vaccines, like Reed, you could speak on this, okay? Dave Chappelle said it. My grandfather was in the Tuskegee experiments. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that Black people are more or less likely to be more confident to take a vaccine, or would they be more willing to sign up for the vaccine, considering that, more Black people are at high risk? You know what I'm saying?
All right. So first off, I can't speak for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I cannot speak for everybody, but the majority, obviously, Black people do, I think, based off my observation, and should, hold the government accountable and don't just open up and be as trustworthy as possible, because it didn't screw them a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? The United States government has broken treaties multiple times with Native American people and things like that. So the government, I don't think white people always trust the government 100% either. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people have their own reasons why they wouldn't take the vaccine. I don't really think I need it, is why I don't really want to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't want to, because for those reasons. Like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but personally, I don't feel like I need to be injecting something. I don't even really know what it is. Now, my kid, I got vaccinated with all the things I had. I had my immunization records, for school or whatever. My parents was vaccinated. I got vaccinated. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. My kids, have they go through their vaccinations, that they doc their primary care physician, who is a Black woman, who I trust her. You know what I'm saying? So
is she a Black woman, or is she a one drop rule?
No, she is Black, son. Her name is Lakeisha. But she totally professional. Like,
how many white women named Lakeisha?
I might have met one before.
Don't lie, dude. Don't lie.
Straight out of 70805, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
man.
It did exist. It did. I did meet a white Keisha before.
But look, you were talking about all the required. Listen, you can't even send your kids to school without having proper vaccination.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is COVID going to be the new one of the new requirements? Because you said you don't feel.
That's a hell of a question, right there.
You said you don't feel like you need the vaccine. Well, people take the flu vaccine that don't really need it. I mean, millions take the flu vaccine every year.
Well, here we go. Let me. I'm thinking about it like this, because they got vaccines for like polio. You know what I'm saying?
Smallpox, right?
Smallpox. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things. Let's think about the trusting of the government. Then the Americans, this is historical fact, that they gave in Native Americans blankets that were infested with smallpox. All right, this is before the vaccine. That's how they killed some of them off. So then you get the smallpox vaccine. All right, everybody got to take it. I trust and believe in that. That's proven over time that it's 100% official. Same thing with polio. Same thing with a few other viruses that I can't name off the top of my head right now. But we've seen the success rate over time. COVID is a new disease or a new virus. The vaccine is brand new. It's way, way early. I think that they will be committing to legislation for student enrollment into different schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's way too soon for that. That would have to be like 5 years later before, because there's no, they created vaccines for other pandemics, I'm assuming. So they probably don't have one for bird flu, you know what I'm saying, or swine flu or H1N1 or all the other things that come and go. Kids don't have to have vaccinations for that to get into school,
right?
As far as I know. So I mean, that is an interesting question, though. Like, when would legislation and policy, from the Board of Education or Department of Education, step in and say, we are going to require our students to be vaccinated from COVID? That would be
but the
hard sell.
The other side of that is that this is one disease that is not affecting kids like the other one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
mostly affecting older people.
It's people are speaking. People are speaking on kids as they're the ones who are dangerously, unknowingly transmitting it to those who are vulnerable.
Right.
So, is there a way to balance letting our children continue to live their life while we protect the elderly and the high risk people? Is there, have we, I don't think we've reached that balance yet. I mean, I think we're trying with all the protocols and guidelines, but, you know, um, again, that's the argument, Reed, is why are we shutting things down when those people at high risk, can still be, somewhat protected? You saw where, I think it was last week, New York City closed down all indoor dining,
It's over with.
like shut it down
And
for like
so they had it closed before. They opened it back up. Didn't work. Now they had to close it again, right?
So I think for the rest of 2020. So my question to you is this: think about how many restaurants and bars that there are in New York City. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds.
Yes, no doubt.
So think about the people that run those businesses, that own those businesses, that own the property that those businesses work under, all the employees. That's loss people losing their jobs. People can't afford to pay their families, pay their bills. That means now New York City, does that mean New York City is going to be flooded with hundreds of empty buildings, homeless people? Is this going to add to, so many other things that would, necessarily, crumble society's way of life? You know what I mean? Because the thing about it is, even though they shut down those places, the social part of being a human, those people are still going to go places. They're going to go to houses.
Right.
They're going to go to any place else they can meet up. But the people that are being affected are the ones that run those businesses. I'm talking about businesses
and the employees. But look, dog, look, this is where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, COVID has had an adverse effect on a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, those who have died from it or been sick and had to miss work or whatever, their life will get quarantined or things like that. But and then people who have lost their business or business have been harmed by it. But it also has presented many opportunities for other people to do other things. So, it's like a give and take. You got to be able to adapt and overcome to life. And in business, that's anything could have happened that could have harmed your business. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, this is something that's unprecedented. But at the same time, like, dog, if you're a real businessman, you're supposed to, like, take lemons and make lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are other people who were struggling way harder before this thing even happened, and now they found their niche within COVID. So I was talking with one of the other coaches at work today about, like, how COVID has affected some players and things like that. And it definitely has negatively affected a lot of college kids and high school kids and those kids that were seniors last year and they lost their freshman red shirt season. Like, think about it, that would have happened to us. But also, some of them took it as an opportunity to better themselves in other ways and find new avenues. Now, I ain't saying that is right or that is okay, because it sucks. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta be able to adapt to your life and find a new way. You can't just sit there and hold a pity party for yourself. And I'm not gonna throw no pity party for you. But if there's something I could do to support people or give them ideas or give them help or give them hope, that's what people need, really. So, it's unfortunate that that's how it happened, and it's gonna have negative effects all over the place. But it's up to individuals to make choices that can help determine, where their future goes. So I want to try to start motivating people more and stop thinking about, all the negative effects of COVID, because it is affecting me negatively too. But, I just got to keep pushing and take whatever circumstances have been created by COVID and then make them manipulate the circumstances to work for myself. And I'm trying my best to do that. I haven't made $1 million off of it, but some people have.
No, I think you're right, dude. But also, okay, if you think back, like they always say, history repeats itself. If you look back over the history of our country, of our nation, people, if stuff wasn't working out for them, they would put everything in the wagon, latch up to the horses and they're going somewhere
They
else.
out of
They're
there.
going
Yep.
somewhere different. Like there's still so many parts of our country that are empty, that are, small towns. I mean, North Dakota from Kansas to, wherever, even parts of Mississippi where, you could go and create a new life for yourself. You know what I mean? And I think, like you said, a lot of people are stuck in these pity parties instead of going, you know what, it's not happening for me right here due to these circumstances that COVID has brought. Either I can sit here and die, or I can get up and I can go do something for myself. Like,
right.
Hey, if, people people are not as resourceful today as they were 100 years ago, as where, listen, if you don't have enough money to go buy and put food on the table, learn how to grow food yourself. Go make I'm just saying, like, in general, I'm not using that specifically, but there's certain things that people could have done that they could have been doing to necessarily help themselves get ahead, or at least, keep the head above water, during these times. But like you said, man, most people have fallen into a pity party. And look, it's mainly these big cities like that, LA and New York, where I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with them. But look, man, there's a couple of things that besides COVID I wanted to talk to you about. There's just been, like, speaking on COVID and then seeing how other things have panned out. It's almost like society has forgotten like the time we're in right now, and how how much emphasis and importance we've put on things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And even though we're coaches, I'm about to go in on college sports right now because I'm upset about it, and even on the pro level. So I've been seeing in the past week or so these college football coach buyouts. Read the millions and millions of dollars that these universities continue to throw away because they don't have a winning championship football team.
Right.
If you just say those words really slowly and you really ingest them and think about them, I got some real quick. Gus Malzahn fired Auburn, right? I mean, Auburn fired
Gus Malzahn.
He's due $21.5 million. Do you realize how many people?
Say that again. Say it again.
$21.5 million.
21 to get severance pay.
Okay, South Carolina fired Will Muschamp. $15.5 million.
You ain't got to say no. You ain't got to name another one. No, you don't even have to name another one.
I'm gonna name one more because I mentioned two white guys. I want to give you a black guy now.
Okay, yeah.
So Arizona's Kevin Sumlin, his buyout $7.3 million. So all in all, we're talking about
salary disparity right there.
We're talking about over $40 million that these universities could be using for their actual facilities, their
recruitment,
their actual, academics, but for the kids themselves. Yeah. And think about how much money or how much good that money could do in those communities.
Oh man.
In the communities. So I don't feel sorry for these college coaches at all, son. At all. I have no sympathy for them.
For somebody who got fired, but you got 21 mil. Like, your firing was really worth more, because think about it. All right. If I work for $21 million, I have to usually do a significant amount of work. Time away from family, you know what I'm saying? Preparation, game, off-season, recruit, delegating work, scheduling, all of that goes into being a head coach. It's way more than just going out there and making calls.
Yeah.
To get paid $21 million, bro, you got to work hard for that. But to get fired and you get $21 million, dog. $7 million, it don't even matter. I mean, like usually when you get fired, you get paid like what was left over of what you had already worked for. You know what I'm saying? They ain't working for this.
But okay,
It's just written in it's just good bargaining and negotiation with the contract that left them that buyout clause in their contract to where they could get paid for.
But what I'm saying, if they pay him 21.5 million because he got fired, if he's worth 21.5 million to them fired, then he's probably worth 3 times that to the actual university itself. Right. If you see what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
It's like an athlete. Okay, how much? What's the highest Kobe probably got?
I think he signed a $50 million, a 2-year, $50 million.
Okay.
So like 25 a year.
Okay, so if he's making 50 million, he's probably worth billions to the Lakers. If you follow what I'm saying.
There's no question Kobe Bryant was worth billions to the Lakers.
You see what I'm saying?
He's worth even more dead than he was. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, he's still they still making profit off of him. Like they will continue to do it for the rest of their existence.
So, and that's what I'm saying.
Just like Magic Johnson, everybody. So I see, yeah, good point.
But I'm just saying we've gotten to that point as a nation, as a society, where, I mean, the money that we are putting up to these coaches and athletes, I almost wish, and look, you look at someone like Dak Prescott, right? He's injured. He may never be right again, play again. So it's important to have those, that severance pay to fall back on or whatever.
Insurance policy.
But for coaches, they do these redrawing of contracts to get extensions. They'll extend them. And I keep thinking, like, what are we doing? Like, this makes no sense to me that, and I get it, man. I get it. They're worth that much because they make that much for the university.
Right.
But again, $21.5 million to pay a man to leave, that's ludicrous on so many levels. And it happens every year. It happens in basketball, football, happens at the pro level, but at the college level, it means more because more people are affected by it. And here's always the kickback I get from it, right? There's plenty of boosters who will cover that 21.5 million, which, to be honest, that's probably true.
It definitely is true.
There's plenty of boosters that Auburn's history that'll cover that. But again, where's our focus at, man? Our focus is on donating for a coach's salary so we can be on ESPN and win national titles. So these guys can sit up in a skybox and enjoy their, $1,000 bottle of champagne and watch their alma mater in the college football playoff. And speaking on the college football playoff, like, have you been keeping up with that at all? Have you been seeing that? What's happening?
I saw the top 8 picks. I mean, who was left for you to I've seen the top picks that was in there.
Here's why I have been almost basically not watching college football this year, and that's one reason. So again, they're trying to put together this forced playoff system, but yet we're leaving it up to human beings to pick the 4 best teams. And we know that the 4 teams that get in this playoff will generate revenue into millions and millions of dollars for the university.
No question, man.
So you're telling me that human beings aren't being influenced to say this team is good and that team is not good. And what I get sick of seeing is these polls. Why do we have coaches polls? Why do we have media polls? Why do we have, the BCS poll? We have all these polls, but none of it matters because it boils down to 8 or however many human beings deciding who gets in. And I start seeing they let the media put out these little, they put out the tweets and they put out the so-and-so's last 4 in. So-and-so's, you see that in college basketball all the time, March Madness. Joe Lunardi's first 4 out. Well, why the hell does Joe Lunardi get to decide who the first 4 out is? Why does Joe Lunardi...
Why does the media get to vote on all of?
Why does the media get to influence and impact what people think?
The media votes on the Heisman, the media votes for the MVP of the NBA, NFL. They vote for the Associated Press crowns the state champion. I mean, the national champion every year.
But you see what I'm saying though? But they, it's that, what do you call it, Reed? They are conditioning people to just be okay with it. They're right. Well, Joe Lunardi says that LSU's they're in the first 4 out, so they're going to have to win their last 2 games. What the hell? How is that fair? Why are we basing the selection committee is letting Joe Lunardi put who the first 4 in and out of?
All right. So let me ask you this: what would you have them do instead? What is Trey Butts' solution to the that is the college football playoff?
I'm gonna talk about college football real quick, okay? Because we're not in basketball season yet. So everyone's been keeping up with Coastal Carolina, right?
Yep.
Everyone's,
they balling.
But they're 11-0. They got one more game, Sun Belt Championship, right?
Against University of Louisiana Lafayette, man.
Well, they don't call them
Raging Cajun.
It's just University of Louisiana now, if you want to get specific. Shout out to Brett Baer, NCAA's all-time leading field goal kicker in history.
Yeah, shout out to Levi Lewis too, the quarterback. He played at Scotlandville, which is one of McKinley's rivals, but the kid is special. He always has been. He always will be. I look forward to seeing him play on Sundays because he deserves a shot.
Okay, so college football. Coastal Carolina's, I think, ranked 11th or something.
12th.
Why? First off, why do we have a ranking system right now? God bless you.
Excuse me. The ranking system. I mean, what was they gonna do, Trey? Get rid of the ranking system for the season?
Reed, why do they have ranking systems?
To rank them. But what else? I don't know, Trey. That's just how it always been. I never questioned it.
Do they rank NFL teams throughout the year?
They have an NFL power ranking.
But does it say this Saturday on ABC, number 1 versus number 2?
No, they don't.
Exactly.
They don't do it in any league.
It's for media. It's for money. It's for TV. It's for the hype. If
they do it in high school and college, in all sports.
But in high school football, we have a playoff system where everyone has to win their division or come second and enter in a playoff system. Rankings mean nothing. So college football, we're ranking teams 1 through 25. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The rankings have no relevance to who's actually the best teams and who's going to win, period.
It's just based off. So signing day was yesterday, I think, right?
Okay.
It was yesterday. So based off what we have right now, Alabama has the number 1 recruiting class. So they ranking these recruiting classes too, Trey. So they basing the ranks and the recruits have 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever. They get ranked too. So if a team comes in and they have the most stars on their recruitment, then I guess that logic, which is kind of recent, that ain't really something that's been going on the whole time, but it can kind of help gauge where on paper these teams can kind of balance themselves out.
You said it on paper.
On paper, for sure.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so everyone knows that Coastal Carolina in no way in hell is going to make the college football playoff, even if they beat Louisiana Lafayette.
Nope, ain't gonna happen.
12-0, no way going to happen.
Guess what? Louisiana Lafayette did beat Iowa State, who is ranked number 6 right now too, with 2 losses on their record.
Okay, so my point is, why is Coastal Carolina even in the top 25 rankings if there is no way that they are even going to be chosen for the selection of the top 4 teams? Why not? Why not? If we're all about the Power 5 conferences and then the Group 5, why don't we have, you either going to have to do separate playoffs for the Power 5 and the Group of 5 or whatever, or you're going to have to open up the playoffs to 16 teams, period. Now, if you want to open up the playoff to 16 teams, by all means, let's rank them 1 through 20, 1 through 25. But don't have a top 25 ranking if you're only going to take 4 teams. Because all that is doing, Young Reed, hear what I'm saying, is conditioning the viewers to say, okay, well, they've been number 5 all year. So, preseason, they were number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's no way that anyone can go up over them because they haven't lost. How is that logically fair? You see what I'm saying? Preseason, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just say they never lose, Young Reed. They release that college football playoff crap every Tuesday because it draws viewers. So if they release the first week they release that and you got the top 4 teams, you're pretty much saying if they don't lose, no one's jumping them. There's no logic to that. It needs to be settled on the field. If you want to keep the rankings, do it, but use it to seed them 1 through 16, 16 play 1, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. That's why college basketball. That's why people love college basketball
because it gives everybody a chance.
And because,
but they still do 1 through 25 on the rankings, though.
That's okay because you're allowing those teams all to essentially compete for a spot in the tournament. There's not a chance in that in football.
This what I think, bro. This is what I think. Why it's so hard to really truly rank all the teams because they don't play each other. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. Like if they made, so you got your conference and most conferences got like 10, 12 teams in them. So you got to play 8 teams in your conference and then maybe a conference championship game. And then you play some out of conference teams. And you don't want to be playing all these hard teams all the time. You want to get some easy wins, and get some reps so you can get ready for the other team. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with college football because college basketball is where they play all over the place. They play like 30-something games and they could go all over the country. Football, you got 10 weeks to figure this thing out. 14 weeks to figure this thing out. And you got to play 8 of those weeks in your conference and you get a couple buys here and there. So you can't really, it's really like who's got the best program, who's got the most high profile coach, who's got the most high profile recruits, the guys that everybody wanted. And then the money talks and the media is the one who gets to do all the talking and make
who's got the most fans that can fill up the stadiums for the bowl games and location.
That's what the media plays a part in that because if let's just say I'm ESPN and I want to cover college football. I know that more people like Alabama than like Coastal Carolina. So I'm going to vote for Alabama to be ahead of Coastal Carolina. And even if Alabama has to play Ohio State, who is not as good a team as Coastal Carolina, I'm going to vote for Alabama and Ohio State to play because I know that there will be more people to be there. So just like when we was talking about the election, bro, everybody's campaigning. They're campaigning for money. And that's just the simple fact of it.
That's why Gus Malzahn got $21.5 million.
They paid him 20. Follow the green, man. 21 million.
They won 1 national championship.
Which that was it. He cashed that 21 million is back pay for the national championship, dog.
Right.
That's all that is. That's like, all right, we love you. We appreciate you. You brought us a national championship, but you done lost it. So we got to move forward. But here go 21 mil.
But there's so
and the players don't get paid nothing.
There's so much inconsistency though, because you're talking about numbers in conferences. Some conferences have 9, some have 10, some have 11, some have 12, 13, whatever. There's no consistency.
Right.
And the whole argue is, well, the 2 best teams might be in the SEC. Well, you know what? There needs to be a set system in place. You look at the NFL right now, right? You look at the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns, right? All 3 could potentially make the playoffs because of the system that is set in place. Like there's a possibility that the Ravens and Browns both get the wild card, right? So
if the Raiders don't get it, you know what I'm saying? Let's go.
If the Raiders do. But what I'm saying is that
right now,
there's no consistent system. Some conferences have conference championships. Some don't. There's no consistency there.
Nothing.
So until they get some consistency, trying to tell me that you're going to take the best 4 teams and there's all this system in place to do that, it's a dog and pony show, man. It really is.
It is, bro. It is.
It's just a dog and pony show.
But we already knew that because think about it, Trey. How long has the college football playoff been in existence for? Like 8 years now?
At least 10, right?
Nuh-uh. It's like years? 7. No.
I'm talking about like the BCS.
Yeah, no, yeah, the BCS was invented in.
You're talking about
the BCS
just the playoffs?
was invented. Yeah, the BCS was invented in like 98.
You're talking about just the playoffs.
I'm talking about the college football playoff.
Maybe 5 years, maybe or something. 5, 6 years.
I think it's 6. So you got, but all right. So the BCS was invented. You ended up with the number 1 and number 2 team based off the computer. Play each other in national champion computer. COMPUDA. They would play each other in the national championship, right? The 1 and 2 during BCS before the college football playoff. But before that, sometimes the number 1 team would play the number 4 team. You know what I'm saying? Michigan in '97, when Charles Wilson was there, they played Washington State in the Rose Bowl because the Big 12 and the Pac-12, or the Pac-10, Big 10 and Pac-10 at the time, played in the Rose Bowl, and they still do. So they played 1 and 7. Nebraska was in the Big 8 at the time, and they played the number 3 team, I think. And so they end up getting a split in the national championship in 1997. The AP poll voted for Nebraska, and the coaches poll voted for Michigan. So now, you know what I'm saying? So now you got 2 national championships. So they brought the BCS in to switch to stop that from happening.
Well, again,
stop the split.
Going back to the stupidity of the rankings. If you really want to do the rankings right, 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4,
right?
5 plays 6, 7 plays 8.
No.
I'm just talking about at the end of the season.
You got to do the 1 seed or should earn the right to play the lowest seed.
I'm talking about when you're talking about the BCS, when they were doing the BCS thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, right.
And even now, you're taking 1 through 4 to the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So shouldn't 5 play 6 and 7 play 8?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
So everybody else should play like the highest.
Why does a number 13? Why does number 13 ranked play an unranked team? Because of location, money, who's going to fill up the stands, who's going to watch more, who's going to have more viewers on TV.
Yep.
That's and look.
And then you got all these like random bowl games too. You know what I'm saying? The bowl series, like, woo, I'm trying to go to a bowl game, bro.
Listen, I don't want to discredit bowl games because like it means a lot for the kids.
It does.
And the universities. But to hear some people's reasonings behind them, like I said, there's no logic behind. Look, not at all. There's no logic why a team who's 14 and 14-0 plays a 10-2 team,
right?
Or whatever the case may be. There's just no there's no reason. There's no consistency on it. Anyway, but speaking of money, okay, Young Reed, I mentioned something to you. We're Valley guys, and we always kind of feel like Valley gets left behind in certain things. So this chick, Mackenzie Scott, who was Jeff Bezos. Am I saying that right?
Yep, Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. She's donated like, I want to say billions of dollars to like everywhere, like all over, like 50 states, colleges, universities. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna drop a load in Mississippi. And for some reason, I don't know how, she gave $6 million to Tougaloo. She gave $25 million to Alcorn.
25.
She couldn't be like, okay, Valley, here's 5. Jackson State, here's 5. Alcorn, here's 5. Like, I don't mean
Jackson State don't really need that because
Jackson State got Dion.
He worth that 21 mil that Gus Malzahn just got. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
Oh,
how does this lady decide who, how, why?
Yo,
I don't get it, man.
Yo, for real, dog. When I found that out, when I saw that, bro, that Alcorn got 25 milli and Tougaloo got some M's too. And
Did Valley get a mil? Just a mil. Just $1 million,
bro.
Like, we're already the lowest funded Division I school in the nation, and we can't even get 100,000. Can we get 100,000 something?
Oh, bro! They just killed Hunter Renfrow.
Do what?
Somebody just killed Hunter Renfrow, man. I'm sorry, I'm watching this game. Oh, he on his feet. Actually, I lied. He alive. He just got blasted so hard.
What's the Raiders score right now?
17-10 Chargers.
Ooh, that's a.
Oh yeah, and Derek Carr got hurt. He pulled his groin. He done. But anyway, let's get.
What do we do, man?
Watching the Raiders is not even nearly as close as watching what's going on at Valley and the football team and just the school in general. You know, so it's no like she need to understand that there is no school that is more in need,
right, than another. Like,
there's no school that is more in need than Mississippi Valley State.
She was trying to give back to the HBCUs.
I ain't mad at her.
I'm not either. I want to say she donated like 50 mil to Prairie View.
Yeah, she did. Winston-Salem, so Morgan State in Baltimore, that's where I think that's the school.
The Bears.
No, I'm sorry. Morgan State got 40 million. Winston-Salem in North Carolina got 30 million.
Mackenzie, come on, man.
Delaware State and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore both got 20 million. So she doing her thing. She doing her thing for the HBCU.
She's doing great.
Bro.
She's doing
That's
great.
Like all bullshit aside, like I gotta tip my hat 100%. She ain't have to do that for none of them schools. And it's a lot of young black men and women that's gonna benefit from that. And I ain't gonna never be, never gonna hate on what somebody else got that I didn't get. But I just wish I could have a conversation with her and make a pitch to her to like sell Valley as a place that's worthy of the same thing, if not more, because of what's lacking there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at signing day, and I looked at some of the recruits. There was a 6'6" wide receiver from Florida, and I'm kind of excited about him. And then they signed a kid from Greenwood who Mike Archie, shout out to Mike. He hit me up and was like, yeah, this dude legit. He played defensive end. So, I'm excited about that. But I'm looking at these other schools and who they signing, and I'm like, man, we got to be able to compete.
Here's the thing.
Like, you got to be able to compete with those high level teams too.
Okay, when it comes down to it, ultimately, we know that the facilities are much improved when we were there. You know what I mean? 15
much improved for sure.
But still, Mackenzie, throw the Delta Devils $1 million so we can get a new something.
Just $5 million, so we can actually like recruit on the level that we recruit on. You know what I'm saying? Not just in athletics.
Afford to pay coaches like Sam Washington to come in and run a program. You know what I'm saying? So,
I was about to say, like, we got to be able to pay our teachers at the school. We got to be able to pay administrators and high quality and highly qualified employees.
Can we get some decent cafeteria?
Can we fix the cafeteria? Can we fix the dorms? Can we fix everything? Can we make some expansions and build some new buildings? Think about this: the main building when you first hit the campus, bro. How long was that building? How long were we able to use that building? It was brand new when we got there. We might have used it for 2 years.
I honestly only remember going in it like one time.
Like when we was freshmen.
And then after a year, it was like, oh, we can't
go in this building no more. It's not built right.
It's condemned.
They condemned the first building that you see on campus, the newest building that is on the campus is totally condemned. Now they redid the gym, and it's much
beautiful.
Nice.
The gym is beautiful, man. Little drop down.
But the rest of it, it's terrible.
Oh man, Mackenzie, if only.
We gotta find her email address. Somebody put us in contact with Mackenzie Scott, man.
Oh man,
ASAP. Jeff Bezos. I mean,
here's the thing, dog. Listen,
she's spending all that man money though. You know what I'm saying? He's the richest man in the world.
He's so mad right now. You think he's like, those freaking black people getting all my money? You think he's like low-key racist and she's doing this intentionally?
No. You know how many black people spending money on Amazon every day? He loves black people.
All right. All right, Reed, listen.
He ain't tripping.
I need to ask you a serious question.
All right.
We've talked about HBCUs before and how a lot of them have closed down due to what? Embezzlement. I mean, I'm just pointing out facts.
A lot of them lost accreditation. Yeah, for sure. And I thought about that. Paul
Quinn, Morris Brown.
You said that, and my uncle, shout out to my uncle Stallworth. He played football at Morris Brown. But before you were saying, I was thinking to myself, maybe she didn't fuck with Valley because Valley got dirty money problems sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that happened.
I don't care who you are or what school you at, unless you're at Auburn.
I'm gonna tell you who had the most scandals.
If you throw $25 million in the laps of the Alcorn people, listen. I may
somebody gonna pocket a little something.
I may go apply for the Alcorn State women's soccer job if they got $25 million.
Hey, you would be a good person for that.
I would be great for that. I'm just saying, if they get 25, what does this mean exactly? I feel like now people are going, okay, how do we distribute these funds and where are they going?
Allocation. So I'm gonna tell you which school got the most scandals of all time, and that's Southern University right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
You sure it's not Grambling?
Grambling probably second. Southern.
Real quick.
All kinds of problems.
I saw an article like top 20 worst universities in America, 2019, 2020. Guess who was in that list?
Grambling?
Grambling and not Valley.
Not Valley.
Way to go, Valley. We made it.
Let's go. We up top of Grambling.
But there was a few HBCUs, but Grambling was like top 10, I think.
No way.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Continue with your Southern story, embezzlement story.
No, I ain't gonna put no names out there. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast. You know what I'm saying? But if you from Baton Rouge, you know it's how. You know it's how.
Look, we was on the campus. They had some stuff going on there that we were like, it was a little
sketch.
Like, I mean,
it was a little sketch.
It was like 5 kids walking around campus. They had cones everywhere, roads closed.
I'm sorry, I'm watching this game and Josh Jacobs.
You know who's the dog for the Raiders, right?
Darren Waller.
My Mississippi State fella playing for
Jonathan Abram. He ain't playing tonight. He got the cold. No, he got a knee injury. And he been getting burnt. He been getting burnt lately. Everybody's not really happy with him right now.
Oh, I thought he was a dog. I thought he was a
He
hitter.
is a dog. He hit, but he can't cover that good.
I thought he plays. Okay, I take back what I said. I didn't do my
First
fact.
down Raiders. Let's go. So look. So Marcus Mariota is in the game right now. You know what I'm saying?
He was
Derek Carr hurt.
but Mariota was a legit quarterback for a minute in the league.
He had some stretches, so he played well.
And now
he's a good backup.
Who was he playing for? The
Titans? That's who drafted him.
He was running the show with the Titans for a minute.
Oh yeah, first down. Let's go.
What quarter are y'all in right now?
Third. We about to score. 17-10 us. I mean them. I need Jacobs to score for my fantasy points too.
Okay.
That's what I really need.
Reed, I gotta
to these suckers.
I gotta ask you one more thing. We forgot to mention this during our college football talk. If you're Dan Mullen, what do you do with the young man who threw the shoe and ultimately lost them the college football? Ooh. Well, let me take that back. They weren't.
That didn't lose it for him, but that did.
No. But they weren't going to go to the Alabama beats them anyway. They would have to still beat Alabama to go to the college football playoff. But
ain't happening.
The kid for LSU, 55-yard field goal, son, to win it.
In the dark, basically, in the fall.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Shout out. So, all right.
What would you
as
say?
A coach?
What do you say to that kid, man?
I ain't really even. You know what? I'm gonna run the hell out of him in practice, but I am not going to embarrass him. I'm not going
because
lose my cool, especially in the heat of the moment in a game. But I'm gonna call that kid into my office and I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna break him down. I'm gonna build him right back up. I'm gonna break him down again, build him back up again. I'm gonna take him to the stadium and make him run the bleachers a lot of times. And he needs to understand, that it's not about him. And I think in that moment, he lost his cool, obviously, and he made a decision that he regrets. He doesn't really need me or anybody else to beat him down any more than he gonna beat down himself. Now, if I see him if the remorse will reveal itself on his face. Josh Jacobs with a touchdown.
All right, I'm gonna.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? He don't need. It was think about this, because I've been that guy before. When we told the story about me trying to go block that punt.
Yeah, that was funny.
And I tried to block the punt and I roughed the kicker, and if they get that first down, we lose the game. Mm-hmm. So and I understanding how that felt in that moment, that I felt like I cost my team. I let my teammates down. I let my family down. I let my coaches down. Everybody who believed in me. I let the school down. You know what I'm saying? I felt all of that went through my head within the 30 seconds before I started. It was probably 15 seconds before I realized that the penalty was offset. All that went through my head. And so now that gives me a perspective of when players that I coach make, big mistakes like that in big moments, because that happened to me, in the playoffs this week. I mean, this school year. So I don't really. When a player makes a really, really big, costly mistake, I never really rail on them too much. Now, if it's something simple and something stupid, I will go off. But if it's something major, I try to see where they head at and try to find the right moment to approach them about it. I'm not gonna ignore it or not address it, because I'm gonna say what I gotta say. But I like how Coach Wash handled me in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So he just was like, not you supposed to know better. You know what I'm saying? He was just patting me on my helmet. He didn't slap me, he didn't fuss, he wasn't angry. He was disappointed because he knows that I'm smarter than that. Mm-hmm. So he didn't seem to regret me being in that situation. He just was like, you know better than that. Come on, Reed, you smart. If it was someone else, I would have been expecting that, but I would have never expected that from you. So I use that moment for how I operate as a coach, because I look to Coach Wash as a mentor anyway. So what he said to me in that moment, even though it was like, dang, he right. I let him down. It was like, but he thought so highly of me before that, that it was like, I will never, ever cross that line and hurt you like that again, coach. You know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for that kid. I really do. He's stupid. It was dumb. But I feel bad for him, and I wouldn't like suspend him or do it, but I would pay for it. It would be a consequence that come with it.
I don't know what that is though. All right, can I tell you something real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, this is gonna blow your mind. So Marco Wilson's that kid's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where he's from?
Uh-oh.
No, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
He's from Fort Lauderdale. Okay, I thought you was about to say Mississippi.
Now he's a junior. Okay. I don't know any more about this, but I need to look into this. Okay. He's a junior. Do you remember the kid from Ole Miss that pretended to pee on the flag or the ground last year at Mississippi State?
Yeah.
And cost him the game, right?
Yep.
You know where he's from? Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale.
What are they doing in Fort Lauderdale, dog? Stop recruiting these guys.
It's Florida in general.
I don't know Floridians. I don't know where Elijah Moore went to school. I think the Florida guy went to like Heritage, but I don't know where Elijah Moore. But listen, both of them are juniors, Reed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore probably felt awful. I mean, got coach and staff fired, everything. But you know what? Whoever was in that kid's corner kept him on the right path. He is having a hell of a season. He's caught like 8 touchdowns. I think had like 1,200 yards receiving. You know, he's having a great year. You know what I mean? So shout out to players like him who could have went in the tank and never resurfaced. But you know, he's since proven himself back to his team and his teammates.
That's what it's all about, man. Like, you know, you make a mistake. You don't want to make them kind of mistakes at all. You really don't. You don't want to have to live with. I am the luckiest guy in the world that mine was like a temporary thing. It didn't even last. I felt it though. I felt what it feels like to be those guys. But I didn't have to live with it for the rest of my life. I can joke about it because we won the game.
St. Thomas Aquinas. All
right. That's a popular school.
But Fort Lauderdale, man, what are y'all doing? Like that's two guys.
They know each other.
Oh,
they gotta
be
like friends.
I bet Elijah Moore called him like, "Hey, man, it's all right, dog. It's gonna be all right. You know, you'll be all right." But yeah, I just thought that was funny that both of them are from the same city and like. You know, but anyway, like I said, it was one of those things where, of course, people forget that he's just a kid, man. And we all did dumb things when we were kids. But in the heat of the moment, he made the tackle. He ripped his shoe came off. He was like, yeah. Let's be honest here. If you're a referee, do you really? Did he throw it at another player? No. Did he throw it at a referee? No. He literally just threw a shoe. Do we really have to give them a 15-yard penalty?
Yes, 100%.
Why don't we just
unsportsmanlike conduct? Think about if Josh did that in a soccer game. Like some kid fell on a tackle and Josh picked the shoe up and slung it across the field.
That's tough, man.
Oh, yeah. Think about it. In one form of it, you are the coach. In another form of it, you just a dad watching your son play. You would lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like you would. There's no way you would just be like, "That's cool." There's no way, bro. You got it's unsportsmanlike conduct, and that ain't what you want to teach kids to do. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm just saying, like, it's just that's just tough, man. I don't know.
Man, that's funny. That was funny though.
Yeah, it is. Hey,
but all right, man.
listen, I'll maybe we could reconvene next Wednesday again. Look, I'm pretty free. Next Wednesday's Christmas Eve, so we'll be out of school and whatnot. But
yeah, school's out next week, man. So I feel like we should just make whatever happen as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? Just
okay.
Get some content out here.
Yeah. We definitely got to get it back out there.
I know people watching Thursday night football tonight. You know what I'm saying? But y'all can still catch the video later. We had a good talk.
Yeah, for sure. And good luck to your Raiders, good sir. And
yeah, we're gonna finish this game off. We gotta shout out the MLB for making the Negro Leagues like a part of the league, the MLB now.
Can I say Negro Leagues?
You can say it. That's what it was called.
Negro Leagues. Okay.
Negro Leagues, yeah.
Okay.
Put G's on your fitted like the Negro League. You remember that line? Who said that?
Wait, say it again.
That bar?
Me.
Put G's on your fitted like the Negro League. That's a stereotype. Like everybody that's black can jump. You could do all them push-ups to pump.
Is that a 50 song?
It's a Obi Trice song, but 50 is on it.
Okay.
And so is Eminem. But that was Lloyd Banks who said that though.
Oh, you did sound a little like Lloyd Banks there. Good for you, young Reed. By the way, I saw your top 6 on that list. I think I was M, Hove, Kendrick. That list I'm talking about?
Yeah. I posted on the I just want to talk rap page. Shout out to Donnie Rose.
I think we had a couple that were I didn't have Pac on my top 6.
You didn't? Also, so I had Nas, Hov,
I had Nas, Hov,
Eminem.
I had M.
Cube.
You had
Cube, Tupac, and I forget who the other one was.
But Biggie wasn't even on that list.
No, Biggie wasn't on there.
That's weird. I actually had Game on my top 6.
For real? I was riding to some Game yesterday, man. Game
because I can listen to all 3 of his albums.
You know he got more than 3 albums, dog.
I'm talking about like
the first 3.
I could listen. I like the first. I'm just saying. And then my last one was like Kendrick, T.I. I think about who I could listen to without like skipping songs. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I want to know who my 6th person was, but whatever.
All right, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, bro. Peace. Chestnut checkers. Holla.